Hey everyone, what is going on? So we have a Boulder Cup tournament. Now this is not my tournament. This is the same person that submitted their tournament last month. They're doing it again with the Boulder Cup. And if you would like to submit your tournament to me, the best way to do so is to upload it to Google Drive and then tweet it at me to let me know you have a tournament video, and then I'll follow you, and then you could go, and then we can go ahead and communicate through direct messages and things like that, and then I'll be able to edit and upload your video onto YouTube. But yeah, our guy over here is going with Torterra, Skarmory, Steelix, Swampert, Medicham, and Bronzong, and his opponent will be going with Skarmory, Probopass, Swampert, Melmetal, Medicham, and Wishcash. So let's take a look at the battle. So far we have a Medicham that knocks out his opposing Medicham. He does bring in that Melmetal, and then a Power Up Punch goes off into Melmetal. Melmetal will opt to block it, and then he switches into Swampert. Now, I would not have used this shield right now to block the move, because whatever Melmetal throws at Swampert, whether it be Thunderbolt or Rock Slide, it's not going to do a lot of damage because Swampert's going to resist it. So I wouldn't have personally blocked that, but that's okay. He's still in a really nice position at this point. He already knocked out his opponent's Medicham, and is about to knock out Melmetal as he just did. Now he has Hydro Cannon ready to go, and it's also interesting to see Sludge Wave on Swampert. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not critiquing that move, but I have Earthquake of mine personally. But anyway, Hydro Cannon will go into this Skarmory, and yeah, that's all she wrote. This is going to be a win for Game 1. So good game. Does go ahead and pick it up in Game 1. Picking up a rare candy to boot, which is always nice, I guess. Now we're going to jump into another match, round 2. We have Swampert versus Skarmory, and this is a favorable matchup for Swampert because he'll be able to get to that Hydro Cannon right off the bat faster than Skarmory. Skarmory is going to choose to block that, and then Sky Attack is going to come out, and the shield is going to go up to block the Sky Attack, as I would have done as well, probably. Now, the Hydro Cannon will come out to hit the Skarmory. Let's see what happens. Skarmory will choose to shield, and now he's actually going to get to another Hydro Cannon, probably just before the Sky Attack from Skarmory, and it's going to go into that. Now the Sky Attack comes out, and will he shield? He will shield because he wants to have the lead advantage. So both players are out of shields. Actually, pulling in a switch, I would have let Skarmory go down. I wouldn't have switched, but either way, loads of damage going into that Swampert with Hydro Cannon. Now he brings in Skarmory, and let's see, Skarmory cannot get to it. So yeah, I wouldn't have brought in that Skarmory either, just because now Skarmory is going to go down or come very, very close. I guess he doesn't. Yeah, he does go down. He almost got to that Sky Attack, but yeah, he basically gave up a Skarmory in that situation. I would have let my Pokemon go down, my Swampert, because it would have went down to the other Swampert and then brought in either Medicham or Skarmory. But either way, it's okay. Let's see, so Medicham fires off a Power Up Punch. Now the opposing Medicham will fire off a Power Up Punch, so it's just a race to see who can knock the other out first. We had a little glitch there, but he was hit by an Ice Punch. Now we bring in Swampert, or not me, the guy playing the tournament brings in Swampert, and the opponent brings in Skarmory. Gonna go ahead and fire off that Hydro Cannon right now to knock out Skarmory, and that's going to be game. So we're gonna jump into round 2. So good game on round 1. So now for round 2, we have Medicham versus Medicham, and it's also interesting to note that he has, I believe it's Psychic on Medicham instead of Ice Punch. Again, I'm not going to critique the moves. I go with Ice Punch and Power Up Punch. I've never actually seen a Medicham with Psychic, so I'm not sure how it works. But yeah, I'd probably recommend the Ice Punch. But if the Psychic is working for you, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know on Twitter. But pretty interesting. Now we have a Power Up Punch from our guy, and yeah, going to get to another Power Up Punch. It's just a race to Power Up Punches, Ice Punches. So firing off that Power Up Punch. Now we're going to shield and block that Ice Punch. So a nice shield on his end to protect the Ice Punch. And now the opponent's Medicham does go down. So let's see what comes in. Skarmory. So Skarmory will ultimately end up winning this matchup, I believe, because the opponent is up a shield and Medicham is really low. So yeah, Medicham does definitely go down. Now we're going to bring in Skarmory and see what happens first. The opponent is at a little bit of energy advantage. So the Sky Attack is going to fly, and then he's going to switch into Bangzang to catch the Sky Attack. So pretty good switch. I mean, both Skarmory and Bangzang do resist that, so you know, it is what it is. Now he's going to go ahead and use a Hydro Cannon against this Bangzang. So nice switch again, because we're able to fire off that Hydro Cannon, taking the last shield. Bulldoze will come out and do a lot of damage to Swampert, but Swampert will be able to tank it and get off another Hydro Cannon, so we knock out Bangzang. So it's definitely a good switch into that Swampert. Unfortunately, Swampert goes down, and now Skarmory comes in, and Skarmory is at an energy, not an energy advantage, a health advantage, but not now. Now I think we're going to just go for the Flash Cannon. Yes, he's going to go for the Flash Cannon, get it off, and I believe this will knock out Skarmory, or comes close. Yeah, it does knock it out, so takes the win. So nicely played, nicely played. That was definitely a good match, and I really enjoyed that one. This opponent, by the way, has Skarmory, Swampert, Torterra, Bangzang, Medicham, and Steelix. So now it's Medicham versus Skarmory right now. So again, positive matchup for Medicham, because Medicham will beat Skarmory in the 2-shield scenario. Of course, you're going to have to use shields, as will your opponent if they want to survive a little bit longer. But as you can see right now, preventing that Sky Attack from coming through, Medicham is going to go ahead and use that power-up punch to hopefully knock out Skarmory, but Skarmory will throw up a shield as expected. Now we're going to have to block this so we could be able to knock out that Skarmory. So Medicham should be able to knock out Skarmory or take the last shield, but I believe that he'll let Skarmory go down. Yes, Skarmory does go ahead and faint, and then she brings in Bangzang, and Bangzang's going to be able to take care of Medicham. Now there's a Skarmory and a Swampert in the back. Which one would I bring? Probably the Swampert. I'm not really too sure. Swampert could have gotten to that Hydro Cannon really fast. Although there's no shields left, and Psyshock isn't doing a lot. I mean, Psyshock and Bulldoze are not going to do a lot to Skarmory, so I guess Skarmory wasn't a bad decision, but these moves are not going to do a lot to Bangzang either. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So Bangzang will hit Skarmory with Psyshock, and then just charging up a little bit of energy, firing off a Sky Attack. And that Sky Attack will go into Bangzang, but the shield will protect it. Now he switches into Swampert, and Swampert will be able to catch this Psyshock. That's a lot of damage. Switching into Torterra, okay, it's over. Torterra wasn't in the back. So we do have the Skarmory, or he has the Skarmory. A little bit of lag. This doesn't really matter. I mean, these Razor Leafs are still doing a lot to Skarmory, and this Sky Attack will not be able to knock out Torterra. Actually, it does knock it out. I thought Torterra was going to survive that. So this is actually a very close game. But yeah, nicely played, nicely played. But I didn't think that I thought that Torterra was going to be able to survive that, but I guess not. But either way, moving on to Game 3 of Round 2, we have Skarmory versus Swampert. And this is a positive matchup for the opposing Swampert. Skarmory will come in with that shield to block the Hydro Cannon, and then he's going to go ahead and fire off a Sky Attack, doing as much damage as possible to that Swampert. Of course, Swampert's going to block, so it's not going to actually do any damage. So now Medicham is going to be forced to throw up a shield so it doesn't have to take those hits. Bringing in Skarmory, so Medicham, it will go for that power-up punch, which will do a decent amount of damage, and then Skarmory is going to let the Sky Attack fly, and because Medicham has no shields, unfortunately, it is going to go down. So burning the shields a little bit early in this game. Let's see what happens. So Swampert comes in, and it's going to get to that Hydro Cannon, so Hydro Cannon will be able to, I believe, knock out this Skarmory. But the shield comes up, so it's actually not going to do anything to it. So Sky Attack will come out and do a good amount of damage to that Swampert. Now the opponent switches into Swampert, immediately firing off a Hydro Cannon. So nicely played on my opponent's end. Skarmory does, well, not my opponent's, his opponent's end. Now we have Swampert versus Skarmory. Hydro Cannon comes out against that Skarmory, and Skarmory is going to fire off a Sky Attack, but it's not looking good for our hero, so to speak, the guy we're doing the video with, or for. Skarmory versus Medicham. Medicham will be able to beat this out. Even a Sky Attack wouldn't have knocked out Medicham. So the opponent does win, and now the guy I'm doing the video for is 1-1, does lose that game. So the next round, the third round opponent does have Gallade, Medicham, Skarmory, Swampert, Bronzong, and Torterra. So right now we have Medicham versus Skarmory. So this is a positive lead for Medicham, unfortunately for the guy I'm commentating for. Switching out the Skarmory to catch the Power Up Punch. So that was actually a nice switch. So he does go ahead and catch that Power Up Punch. Doesn't allow Skarmory to go down. He's going to fire off a Power Up Punch of his own, just trying to boost his attack. Of course, it's not going to do much, but you might as well boost as much as you can. Gonna go ahead and block this Power Up Punch. I wouldn't have blocked that. I would have let that Power Up Punch go through, because you're still going to be able to beat this Medicham. You wouldn't have taken that much. Actually, the opposing opponent decides to block as well. So I guess wanting to keep the Medichams alive. But either way, the Medicham does knock out the opposing Medicham, and then Skarmory comes in, and now we have a Medicham with Power Up Punch ready to hit that Skarmory. Medicham is going to switch out into Swampert. Swampert will have to take the Sky Attack, but Swampert will survive, and then we're going to be able to get off a Hydro Cannon against that Skarmory, which should knock it out. Yes, it does. Then the final Pokemon is a Swampert, but we have all 3 Pokemon left. Well, not me, the guy I'm commentating for. You guys get it. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so Swampert is going to go down to this Hydro Cannon. But again, 2 Pokemon in the back, Skarmory and Medicham. And he brings in the Skarmory, which is pretty healthy, and I believe it. I don't know if it could take this Hydro Cannon. Let's see. It actually does take it, and it gets off a Sky Attack. So I thought it might have hung on by like 2 HP, and it did. It did hang on, so it survives, and it's able to knock out Swampert. So hey, nicely played. Really fun game. Really fun game. By the way, you could check out this guy, that Sidby that I am commentating for on Twitter. I will post his Twitter link in the description down below. You can follow his Pokemon Go progression. He's really good, really good. He did want me to critique the battle, so if I am pointing out mistakes, that is why. I make mistakes too. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes, but I just wanted to let you guys know. But either way, Medicham versus Medicham right now in this second battle. And then not going to shield that one, which I wouldn't have either. Then we have this Medicham going for Power Up Punch, doing a good amount of damage, evenly matched right now. We're going to go ahead and block that one so we don't take Power Up Punch. And then Power Up Punch is going to go into the opposing Medicham, which will not be blocked. And then the Medicham does faint. So keeping the Medicham alive, Gallade does come in to finish off Medicham. Now we're going to go ahead and decide which one to bring in. It's going to be that Skarmory, and Gallade will switch out into Skarmory. Skarmory will go ahead and use that Sky Attack just to chip away at the health. It's not going to do a lot of damage, but why not? Might as well, right? So again, another Sky Attack coming in from the opponent. Gonna go ahead and charge up. It's a race to the Sky Attack. We're actually farming a little bit extra energy, so we have a little bit banked. We could survive that Sky Attack, as he does, and then he's gonna go ahead and use that Sky Attack against the opposing Skarmory. Skarmory will go ahead and block, and then we get another Sky Attack off, so that's really good. Either going to force the shield or take damage. So he does take damage. He switches into Torterra. That was an interesting switch because, I mean, you don't want to catch the Sky Attack from Skarmory. Now you're taking another Sky Attack to Torterra, and that will knock out Torterra. So bringing in Skarmory to knock it out. And then the final Pokemon is that Gallade, and Gallade will knock it out. So I don't agree with that switch into Torterra. It might not have mattered because Gallade came in. Although Razor Leaf will do a lot to Gallade, so I don't know. I wouldn't have switched there into Torterra. I would have just finished it off with Skarmory and then brought in Torterra. Didn't want to catch, or I wouldn't have wanted to catch the Sky Attack, but it might not have mattered. But either way, that's my opinion. So we have Skarmory versus Medicham right now. Medicham will go ahead and use a Sky Attack, or Skarmory will, excuse me, and we actually get off another Sky Attack. So what is that? Almost back-to-back Sky Attacks before the Power Up Punch comes out. Gonna go ahead and block this Power Up Punch just so the Skarmory doesn't take any damage. and then he's going to switch into Swampert to catch the power-up punch. So not a bad switch. Not a bad switch. It still does a lot of damage, though. So, yeah, that's interesting. Either way, Hydro Cannon is going to go ahead and be fired right at Gallade. Going to go ahead and knock out that Gallade easily, because Gallade is a really frail Pokemon. So Medicham comes in and uses Power Punch to finish off Swampert. So he is up a shield right now, bringing in Skarmory, which will be knocked out by counter. And then now there's only Medicham left versus a Skarmory, plus we're up a shield. So this should be really good for us, or for the guy I'm commentating for, because we're up energy, we're up a shield. We should be able to finish off that Skarmory. So let's see if we can. A little bit of lag that could have affected the game, but either way, Power Up Punch is going to go into that Skarmory. And then can we finish it off with counters? Yes, we can. So game 3 goes to Sid B. So congratulations. So 2-1 right now is the record. So moving on, facing the 4th round opponent, which will be Skarmory, Bronzong, Torterra, Medicham, Swampert, and Gallade as his team of 6 Pokemon. And Medicham will go ahead and use Power Punch against that Swampert. Swampert will switch into Skarmory, switching into a boosted Medicham. I'm not too sure about that, but it is what it is. He did it. So now Medicham will go ahead and block this because it knows it will definitely be able to finish off this Skarmory, as it does. Actually having enough energy for Psychic too. Will we see the Psychic? No, I guess not, because he's going to go for Power Up Punch. So pulling the switch into Skarmory before it farms up a lot of energy. Pretty good switch because he didn't allow it to farm up energy. He just brought in Skarmory immediately. So Skarmory will go for that Sky Attack right now. And this will be met with a shield. And the opponent switches into that Swampert to fire off a Hydro Cannon and knocking out Skarmory. So nice switch on the opponent's end. Now we're going to bring in that Medicham using a Power Up Punch. It will be met with a shield. So now Sid B is up a shield, and the opponent is not. So Swampert goes down from Medicham, and Medicham will fire off that Power Up Punch. I believe this is going to be game. Let's see what happens. So Medicham will fire off a Power Up Punch and knock out Medicham, and then he brings in his fully healthy Swampert. So even if he got off a Power Punch, it wouldn't have mattered. Swampert had that Hydro Cannon ready and just finished off Medicham. So game 1 in round 4 goes to Sid B. So the final game, or at least the second game I should say, is a Skarmory mirror match. So going to Skarmory versus Skarmory. And this is interesting. We've all seen this before. I guess whoever has the better PvP IVs will win the matchup, unless if someone switches. Or Mrs. Excellence, you never know, right? But either way, Sky Attacks fly as usual. Now we're going for another Sky Attack from the opponent, which will hit Skarmory, but Skarmory will fire back with a Sky Attack. And basically evenly matched right now. I think we have a little bit of an advantage because it looks like that Skarmory hit the red first and is a little bit lower in terms of health. So maybe not the best PvP IVs on the opponent's end. I don't really know, but either way, Sky Attack will finish off that Skarmory, and then Bronzong comes in, and Bronzong will knock out Skarmory. So now let's see what comes in, either Torterra or Medicham. What would I bring in? Yeah, I probably would have brought in the Medicham because we're neutral to the confusion, plus Power Punch will be neutral to Bronzong. So definitely a smart way to go. That shield will come up. And now we're not going to Psyshock. It is Psyshock. We're not going to block. So Psyshock does hit Medicham. And now we have another move. Going to go ahead and block. I believe that probably was the correct play. Probably what I would have done, at least. So Medicham does use the Power Up Punch against Bronzong. And Bronzong is going to go down from those counters. So the final Pokemon, let's see what it is. Remember, we have a Torterra in the back. So let's see what the final Pokemon is. It is Torterra. So gonna get off damage against the opposing Torterra and then switch into Torterra, and because we're up in health, we're definitely gonna knock that out. And Sid B does go ahead and win. And if you take a look at the scoreboard, he technically tied for second place, but in terms of tiebreakers, he reached third if you look at it like that. So congratulations. Thank you so much for submitting me the tournament. I am really happy that you did so, and it was a lot of fun to commentate over it. And if you guys want to submit your tournament reports, as I said, Google Drive and tweet me at Twitter, and I'll be able to review it and make a video. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. See you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, click on one of the links to check out another one of my videos that you'll probably enjoy.